So today we're launching NFER's annual report on the teacher labour market in England. So this is now our 6th annual report, which is designed to inform you and the education sector about the key trends in recruitment, retention and working conditions, and basically assess whether we're making progress in addressing the teacher supply challenge. And unfortunately, the data that we're looking at seems to be showing that teacher supply is in a pretty critical state. This matters a lot for schools and school leaders who are likely to find recruiting teachers more of a challenge, and also to have to find ways of coping with the shortages. But this really matters for pupils, as it might mean that over the coming years they're more likely to be taught by a non-specialist teacher, which might affect the progress that they were able to make with their learning. So unfortunately, the data and the trends in recruitment, retention, workload and pay seem to be pointing in the wrong direction. So our forecast of recruitment to initial teacher training shows that 10 out of 17 secondary subjects are very likely to be below their recruitment targets next year. After this year, only half of the secondary trainees that we needed to enter training were recruited. So there have been some increases in some subjects this year due to bursaries and doing more to encourage international applicants to apply to teacher training, especially in physics. But just under 10% of teachers left teaching in 2022. And data from the Department for Education's Working Lives of Teachers and Leaders survey suggests that 44% more teachers were considering leaving in 2023 than were in the previous year. So this suggests that retention might be getting worse, which would also be bad for the supply of teachers. But why might more teachers be leaving or considering leaving? Well, the number one reason that teachers give for considering leaving is their workload. And our analysis of two completely separate and independent data sets has found that both of them suggest that teachers worked longer hours last year compared to the year before. So what's driving increase in teachers' workload? Well, a range of evidence from different surveys, some conducted by my NFER colleagues and also by the DFE, strongly suggests that pupil behaviour management and pastoral care is an increasing source of workload for teachers. So the government is aiming to reduce teachers' working hours by 5 hours a week within 3 years. And we think that as part of this, they should be looking at conducting a detailed review of how to reduce teachers' workload related to behaviour, including, crucially, looking at the role of external support services like special needs and mental health. So we've also been looking at teachers' pay and found that while most experienced classroom teachers used to earn more than 3/4 of what workers in the wider economy earned in 2010, that has fallen to 2/3. More broadly, the competitiveness of teachers' pay has fallen since 2010 and will fall further without at least a rise of 3.1% this year. So what we've also seen in the labour market is graduates increasingly working remotely, which teachers, by the very nature of their job, can't do. So 46% of similar graduates are mainly working from home, according to our analysis of the labour force survey. So how could we compensate teachers for this change to make sure that this inherent inflexibility doesn't undermine the attractiveness of their jobs? Well, we estimate that in pay terms, the value of this compensation would need to be equivalent to around 1.8% of pay. So over the longer term, and particularly ahead of the upcoming general election, we think political parties should be setting out their plans for a teacher pay strategy that looks to the long term. But crucially, they also need to make sure that the strategy comes with enough funds for schools so that they can afford these pay changes. So, to find out more about this research, please visit the NFER website at nfer.ac.uk/TLM2024. We'll also be discussing these findings and what they mean for the education sector at a launch webinar taking place this morning, which will be chaired by Josh Hillman from our generous funders on this research project, the Nuffield Foundation. You can sign up for this on our website, or you can watch a recording, which will be uploaded to our YouTube channel very soon.